Today, we're taking a look at the new ADIDAS Copa Pure Plus and Copa Pure.1. But first, we don't want you to miss out on any of the latest cleat news, so make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell. So to understand this new Copa, let's take a step back in time and take a look at where this cleat has come from. Famed for its iconic low-profile silhouette, wagging tongue and soft leather upper construction, the first Copa cleat was released way back in 1979. It's been a part of some of the most iconic moments in footballing history, and while the original Copa design remains the holy grail for a small minority, in 2016 Adidas decided it was time to show some TLC to their iconic franchise and created something that fit the faster-paced modern game with the Copa SL. Honestly, this cleat upset most die-hard Copa fans as it seemed completely focused on weight reduction and even replaced the plush leather upper with a new lightweight synthetic. Learning from that mistake, the next edition came a year later in the form of the Copa 17, which reverted back to a premium leather upper while keeping the lightweight sprint frame outsole and introducing a stretchy compression fit knitted tongue. In 2018, this design was further developed so that the stretchy tongue section fused with the leather elements to create a one-piece upper. In 2019, Adi took things one step further with the Copa 19 Plus, which featured a completely laceless fusion skin construction. This concept was pushed further in 2022 with the Copa Sense, with the addition of Sense pods to give you an improved cushioned touch on the ball. And that brings us to today's Copa, which is another step towards the ultimate blend of comfort and that unique touch on the ball that only leather can provide. But it's actually closer in resemblance to the Copa 19 and 20 versions than it is to the more recent Copa Sense. With its back-to-basics upper cushioning, lower heel counter, and generally more Copa-like silhouette, I think this is definitely a move that purists will appreciate. So now we know the history of this cleat, let's start with the most important aspect on any Copa release, which is of course, the touch on the ball. Firstly, it has to be said that this upper is actually made from premium calf leather, which may shock those who are used to the usual K-leather on the Copa models, but it's actually surprisingly soft and supple, and when you actually get these cleats on foot, the difference between the two becomes barely distinguishable. Anyway, the leather makes for the type of control elements that you'd expect from a Copa cleat, with a delicately soft and true touch on the ball that only premium leather can really provide. The midfoot section, while pretty well disguised, is actually a leather synthetic material and is there to give you better stability, which it does quite nicely, and prevent overstretching. On top of that, you'll notice a minute detail that features on the instep of both cleats, which ADIDAS call haptic grip print. This is there to give you a little bit of added tactility along the internal passing zone, but while it is grippy to the touch, I didn't notice it much during testing. Another aspect that's critical to the success of any cleat release, but even more so with the Copa, is of course the fit and comfort. So how does the Copa Pure Plus and .1 stack up? Fusion Fit is a name that's used for the combination of prime knit and leather to create the seamless transition that you see here, and is also the technology that allows the Copa Pure Plus to be completely laceless. While the leather gives you that great touch on the ball, the prime knit ankle section hugs your foot in a compression fit and at the same time creates a beautiful striking surface where the laces would normally be. Meanwhile, on the Lace Pure.1, you're treated to an anatomically shaped rear section that does a great job of locking your heel in place, and a more traditional lacing system that runs right down the middle of the strike zone. Otherwise, both cleats run true to size, and while they probably suit a narrower foot shape, those with wider feet, like me, can also get away with wearing these if you're okay with a snug fit widthwise. And flipping the cleat over now, we can see that the lightweight torsion frame outsole has been carried over from another Adidas cleat, the Nemesis. I think it actually fits well with the overall Copa aesthetic, and in terms of performance, it features some really nice traction elements. A half moon stud shape gives you a good grip in all directions, and the flexible torsion frame midfoot struts mean that you get a nice amount of give when changing directions, while at the same time maintaining responsiveness. So if this cleat is billed as a high performance take on a classic, are any of the pros wearing them? After a long time with no top level players wearing the Copa, we now have a great crop of talented playmakers donning the latest version, including Paulo Dybala, Pedri and Donny van de Beek. There's no doubt that this group is going to add to the already bulging archives of Copa history. So now you know all about the new Adidas Copa Pure Plus and .1. If you fancy owning a pair for yourself, head over to SOCCER.COM. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I'm Sam, and I'll see you guys next time.